Outputs of direct and managed project work. Deliverables. A deliverable is any unique and verifiable product, result, or capability to perform a service that is required to be produced to complete a process, phase, or project. Work performance data. Work performance data are the raw observations and measurements identified during activities being performed. Data is gathered through work execution and passed to the controlling processes, where it is analyzed and put into context and include work completed, key performance indicators, technical performance measures, actual start and finish dates of scheduled activities, story points completed, deliverable status, schedule progress, number of change requests, number of defects, actual costs incurred, and actual durations. The completion date on December 15th and the number of hours completed of 96 hours are examples of work performance data. Change requests. When issues are found, change requests can be submitted. Any project stakeholder may request a change. Traditional managers are constantly trying to correct actual results to a baseline, which is referred to as corrective action. Agile project leaders are interested in reaching and adapting to project events rather than following a predictive plan, which is referred to as adaptive action. Change requests may include corrective action. In corrective action, the problem is identified after a failure occurred and steps are taken to prevent the problem from happening in the future. For example, if a failure in machine occurs due to a wiring route, then the diagram can be updated to reroute the wiring to avoid failure. Preventative action. Preventative action is distinguished from a corrective action in that a problem is identified before it occurs, and steps are taken proactively to avoid the problem from occurring. For example, a safety issue is proactively addressed before an accident occurs. Any lessons learned from past project and implemented in current project to avoid problem from occurring is considered as a preventative action. Defect repair, an intentional activity to modify a non-conforming product or product component, such as welding a crack. Updates. Updates are changes to formally controlled project documents and plans. For example, if the project manager finds that the equipment is not going to work under a pressure of 800 psi and it is only going to afford 600 psi, and that this variance will affect the project's ability to meet the approved scope, he should submit a change request to ensure changes are made to the scope, regardless of the pressure from stakeholders to maintain the schedule. Another example, if the project manager wants to choose between repairing or replacing an equipment, a comparison between cost and time is not enough to make the decision. A change request is required so that additional project aspects, such as risk, quality, and customer satisfaction, should be considered to reach a decision. Project management plan updates. Any component of the project management plan may require a change request as a result of this process. Project documents updates. Project documents that may be updated include activity list. The activity list may be updated with additional or modified activities. Assumption log. New assumptions and constraints may be added. Lessons learned register. Any lesson learned is recorded as it is learned. Requirements documentation. New requirements may be identified during the process. Risk register. New risks may be identified and existing risks may be updated. Stakeholder register. New stakeholders is recorded in the stakeholder register. Organizational process assets updates. Any organizational process asset can be updated as a result of this process. Any correction to the procedures implemented through a change request and once implemented. The updated procedure can be documented in the project management plan, the organizational process assets, and the lessons learned register. For example, if there's any change in inspection procedure to identify quality issues, once the change request is approved and implemented, the updated procedure should be documented in the quality management plan, the organizational process assets, and the lessons learned register.